I'd like to call the Village of Mount Sterling Council meeting for October the 14th, 2024 to order. Can we have a roll call, please?
David?
Here.
Barry?
Yes, here.
Craig?
Here.
Becky?
Here.
Ross?
Here.
Joyce?
Here.
All's present.
All's present. Okay, thank you.
Lord, thank you for the day you provided for us, Lord. Lord, be with our village tonight and for law enforcement, and be with our fire protection and also our squad. Be with our council and our mayor, and Lord, with all the citizens, and be with our great country tonight, Jesus, touching them with your helpful hand. And Lord, don't forget all the sick and all the ill. In Jesus' wonderful, wonderful name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Mayor's report here tonight. I'd like to start off by relaying some very positive feedback I got from members of the community over the performance of our service crew. They have done awesome work here, particularly in the last 6 weeks, cleaning up and getting things ready to rumble for a lot of the events this fall. And they've been on it, and the general feedback has been, keep up the good work, you guys are doing awesome. So I'd like to publicly thank them and give them a big shout out. Another update I'd like to give the community, we just completed our EPA mandated lead water service line survey. Some of you may have seen that on the water bills you've received within the last 2 months, I think, 1 or 2 months, there's been a notice about lead service lines. Mount Sterling really doesn't have a problem with lead service lines, but this is something which affects a lot of communities nationally, and the federal government is making us go around and make sure that if we have lead service lines, those are identified. The deadline for that is Wednesday. And again, our crew pitched in, community pitched in, a lot of our residents responded to our call and request to help us figure out where lead service lines are. I think everybody knows at this point you're not really supposed to be drinking or eating lead. But hey, you know, maybe it's news to some folks. Lead service lines are no joke, and there's federal assistance to dig them out if we had to. But I'm pleased to say we beat the clock. We are a couple years actually ahead of what our deadlines are, and I'm looking really forward to wrapping this project up and getting our filing done on Wednesday. And then finally, one thing that we do need to announce is getting it out there. Spring forward, fall back. Fall back will actually be on November the 3rd. So you're going to lose an hour of sleep here coming up. So just to let everybody, remind everybody, I'm sure you'll get reminders. But like pumpkin spice pops up this time of year, you know, you got to tell people when to fall back. So there you go. That's my mayor's report for this week. I will have comments as the committees go on, and we'll get some more stuff done. There's a lot of good news to report, so looking forward to it.
Can I go back to the accepting of the minutes, the council meeting?
Oh, I'm sorry, may I please have a motion to approve the meeting minutes from September the 23rd?
Have that motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you.
Was David, Craig?
Yep, can we do a quick
Yep.
roll call, please? Thank you.
David?
Yes.
Barry?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
No.
Ross?
Yes.
Oh,
And Joyce?
Yes.
okay. All right, sorry about getting that out of order. President Pro Tem, Joyce, please.
Thank you. I just want to say that for me, fall is an exciting time of the year. There's a chill in the air. It feels very crisp outside. The leaves are falling. Kids are having fun. I certainly hope that everyone has enjoyed the events that the village has put on lately. We have had softball tournaments, shop hops, food trucks, fun run walks. Lostros is busy with hay rides, pumpkins, apple cider, and all things fall. I hope everyone takes advantage of the pumpkin show this week and all the festivities that they have to offer. With that, I will turn it back to you.
All right, wonderful. I have no one in the book for public comment here, visitors tonight. We do have folks in the audience. We do not have executive session tonight either, so we'll move on to department reports. Today is a federal holiday, so our sheriff's department is going to delay their report till next go-round. We do not have a law director update. It is also not tonight the building and zoning update. That's the next go-round. But we do probably have a fiscal officer update that she wants to
I'm the only
give.
one in this department.
I know. How about
came on
that?
this holiday,
How
huh?
about that?
All right, so I don't have a lot either. Again, I think what Joyce is gonna cover in her finance report is I'm now compiling the almost final numbers for the budget for 2025. So, I'm still cleaning up some things, I'm still getting some things completed to, have, I think Joyce, you're gonna have, and I don't wanna steal your thunder, a finance committee meeting and then a work session. So I don't think that's been on the docket yet, but I would like to have a first reading on the budget come the last meeting of this month, I think it's the 28th of October, because I do have to put that on 3 readings. So I am finalizing that, I'm finalizing it with Andy, and the street crew on what they are going to expect and, what they're gonna need for next year's budget. So I have yet to turn that over to the chair of finance, so, be looking forward to that probably either this week or next week.
Have you gotten reports from other committees yet on what their requests are?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Nope. So, again, budget's gonna be completed. You guys will, as council, will have a work session as we always do. Again, it has not been compiled yet. I also have the bank reconciliation, for the month of September. There is no adjustments on here. Everything has been balanced to the penny, and I will be circulating that around. Please sign that. I also would ask for a motion. Council didn't have any questions or anything for me. Nothing? Okay, comments? Okay, so I would like to have a motion for the appropriation status report, the revenue status report, the receipt listing report, the payments of reports, the comparison of budget and appropriated reports, the cash summary by fund report, the reader report, and the bank reconciliation for September of 2024.
You have that motion?
All right, we'll have that, and followed by Craig as a
Joyce
second.
first? Okay. Joyce, then Craig? Okay, Barry?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Circulate it.
Thank you.
Whatever.
Yeah, get the pile here going. All right, takes us on to committee reports. Joyce, Finance.
Thank you. As Courtney said, budget numbers are finally in. I know she's going to be very busy this week inputting those numbers into the spreadsheets and where they need to go so that they can all come together, so that we can have our finance meeting. I'm hoping for Monday early.
Is that committee though only?
The committee only. This is for just the finance committee. Then I would like to have the finance work session. I would really like to have that. Courtney, I know that I said Wednesday. Did you want to go for Tuesday, or did we want to keep it Wednesday?
I was thinking of how far we're gonna get with the because the finance committee has to, put their stamp of approval to take it to the work
Correct.
session. So I probably would say either Wednesday or Thursday. but-
All right. Then I would like to have that on Wednesday.
Joyce, we meeting on Friday again, or
We're meeting Monday morning,
Monday morning? Okay, thanks.
if that's okay. I'm thinking about 10 or 11.
Okay.
Are you good with that? You're not on finance. You're on finance.
No, it's Ross and,
Oh, it is you. Yeah, finance. 10 o'clock, okay?
well, I'll send out an email.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
get everyone's calendars in
All right.
front of them, and we'll go from there.
All right, we'll do that. And then I would like to have the work session, finance work session on Wednesday, AM as well. So she'll send out an email for that as well. You can give her your feedback. And that'll give us time that if we can't complete it in one meeting, we can go into Thursday. And if we have to have a second meeting for finance work session, we can do that on Thursday. Courtney wants to have this wrapped up, as she said, on the 28th. We want to give her plenty enough time to do that. Okay, so that is all I have.
Thank
for
you.
finance.
Yeah, I guess the only other comment that I would have is, we continue to be in the running for grants. We're getting positive indications about another one potentially for technology upgrades for the village. We don't have numbers from that yet. That would be from the State of Ohio Cyber Ohio Fund. We would really love to get this one. That would move the ball forward for us in terms of hopefully upgrades across the board, but we don't know the results and the overall numbers yet. We did ask for, I believe, $20,000 for it. So we went for the max, and hopefully, knock on wood, that we get the whole amount, and that would take us pretty darn far part of the way when it comes to technology upgrades for the village. So I'm really looking forward to that. That would also, if we got that grant, would put another notch in our belt in terms of, changing a little bit of how we've operated before. We've upgraded our website this year, gotten that out there. People seem to really like using it, so that has gone together. And with this, hopefully, this money, we would be able to really feel like we've moved the ball a little bit more. So,
Sure.
looking forward to it. We'll hear more either in finance or the next go-around of the next council meeting.
Yes, and our next regular finance meeting will be November the 6th.
Okay, great. Okay, Pleasant Township, David.
Yes, I had 2 meetings last Monday. So I talked to the trustees. I called them up. They filled me in. And the main talk about was a snow fence. They talked about snow fence situation, working on the curbs, getting ready for, we're hoping a mild winter, but you always gotta be prepared. So they talked about that and paid the bills.
Wonderful, okay. All right, thank you. Squad, Joyce.
We had a very long 4.5 hour meeting for squad. We actually did a lot of interviewing. We had 3 interviews for just basic employee. After executive session, ended up hiring all 3. And then we went back into executive session and had 5 interviews for assistant chief, which, when we came back out, we voted to advance 3. They're also, all 3 of them, all 5 of them were existing employees. They like to try to promote from within, and we were fortunate enough to get all 5 applicants from within. So we did advance 3 employees to go to the next level for a second interview, and those interviews are going to be held October 29th at our next meeting. And we do have a new truck coming in May 25th, so if that stands, we're excited about that. We are going to be submitting the specs for, I think they already have the specs pulled together. We're going to be ordering a new truck to the tune of, this is always interesting for me, $297,300. So,
expensive,
and we do
yeah.
know that every year prices keep going up. So we are going to, submit the specifications to order a new truck after the first of the year. And it does take up to 3 years, 34 to 36 months, to get delivery, as we know from the truck that we just got last year, or earlier this year. Sometimes that gets pushed out. So that's all I have as far as new business goes. Not a lot. The CPR devices are no longer supported. The company asked if we wanted to go into another 8-year contract at $296,700. And we don't want to do that. We're kind of like not going to do that right now. But everything that we have now is passing inspection and it's working well, and we're hoping to get some more life out of them. And that's all I have.
Okay, wonderful, thank you. Ross, Fire.
On the old business, Dave has went out for the second pre-build inspection on the new fire truck that they're building. And engine number 493 is for sale, and it's on governmentdeals.com. They're 36 calls ahead of last year, and our next meeting is 10/24 of '24.
I'm sorry to hear they're 36 calls ahead. Maybe it's not news you want to hear. All right, thank you. Water, wastewater, Joyce.
Okay. We met, we went over the water tower update. I believe we have our next meetings tomorrow, I think, with the group. The bidding is on schedule. We should be able to award the job to a contractor in November, which to me, that's progress. I'm excited about that. The bulk water sales were suspended because of the drought. And have they unsuspended them now?
No,
or
we're still under a drought.
We're still under a drought, so we're still not doing bulk water.
Our priority is fire EMS.
Okay. The committee motioned that we recommended to move forward with posting the job opening and interviewing for the new water clerk assistant. And at that, I will turn it over to Andy.
Yes, so I would like to have council's permission to backfill. We had Stacy working for us to help Misty when we had peak hours. This is a temporary, or not temporary, it's a contract position rather, so it's a 1099, it's not full-time. And it would allow Misty to be able to do things like go on vacation as well as service peak times when we have water bills coming in and be able to turn those around. So Stacy did a great job for us, and we miss her a lot, and hope she's doing great in her new job, but I would like to backfill her if I could.
Okay, so the motion will be asked to allow the job posting. So again, because of the position that it's in, usually the mayor, and I'm assuming Misty will probably be in those interviews as well, for whoever applies for these positions. This would be a motion to allow the job posting and interviews to be performed for the water clerk assistant. I use that loosely. So I guess you guys need to probably put a date on this. So what's the date of the posting? How long are you guys gonna open that up for?
Could I recommend that we pull the posting Friday at the end of business, or Monday at the end of business? Is that the 21st?
I'd like at least 2 weeks.
You want 2 weeks?
Absolutely.
That's fair.
Yep. So when we
That'd
did
be
our
the
last,
28th?
when we did our last solicitation, we did 2 weeks.
Okay.
So that
Or
would
did
be-
we do 3 weeks? I can't remember. We wanted to make sure everyone knew, and we put it on the website, put it on the front door of Town Hall. Want to make sure that we all got word out that we were hiring.
Okay.
So,
The
if
25th?
I could have 2 weeks at a minimum, I think that would probably be a good
So
idea.
is that just for the posting though?
Yes, just for the
Okay.
posting.
So this would be just for the posting. I'm looking at it at October the 28th at end of day.
That's on a Monday? Or do you want it
Well,
Friday?
let's see here, October the
It's
28th.
not posted today, correct? When
No,
would it be posted?
so
Probably tomorrow.
we would want to do 2 full weeks,
29th.
which would be, if I could, yes, let's do that.
29th.
So let's do October the 29th at close of business, which is 5 PM, please. So for people who are interested.
Okay.
Do we have a standard rate of pay?
It was still the $16.
Yeah, whatever we currently,
Yeah.
whatever we were paying Stacy.
Is it start pay that she started at, or is it where she ended at?
I don't think we ever modified it. So it
Yeah,
was
we never
whatever, I don't think council ever modified it, so
Yeah,
whatever
so
it
they
was.
don't get a continuous raise at all. They don't get a cost of living or anything like that. So she was given a raise by council last year, I want to say.
Right.
Yeah, and it would be at that starting pay.
I guess that's true, yeah.
At 16 is what it is. Okay, so then everybody's comfortable with the interviews being held and a recommendation given out by the mayor to council? Okay, held by the mayor. Okay, and then the hire date, are you guys gonna be processing this as an emergency? Because your
Yeah,
next
so
council
because the
meeting
next
is
council
November the 11th.
yeah, exactly. So I'm thinking that the answer to that would probably be yes.
Okay, so let me reread the motion. This allows the job postings and interviews. So job postings will be posted until end of day on October the 29th at 8 PM. That's end of business day. Interviews to be held by the mayor. The rate of pay, she is a 1099, which means she does not reap medical benefits, any retirements, Medicare. Starter rate of pay is $16 an hour. Also, remember, she is not, it's gonna be considered she or he, it would be considered a part-time position, which means it's not 1,040 hours. You guys agreed to do like 728 hours.
And we would periodically come back to you. We did it at least once where we said
Yeah.
we needed more
When
hours.
Tom was
And
here, he
yeah,
gave 80 hours in the last budget.
Right.
So this is only like 728 hours, okay? As a 1099. And this would be a hiring date tentatively November the 11th as an emergency. So that's your motion.
Is there a second for that? Or is there what person willing to place the motion here tonight? Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, David.
Craig, David? Okay, roll call. David?
Yes.
Barry?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that. We sure do appreciate it. All right, on to next committee, streets. Craig.
At our meeting, we talked about the new digital speed limit signs. And in our meeting, we decided that we were gonna place two of them, both Ys, one down here, one up there. The other two, we want to get a small trailer for them and mount them on a trailer so we can move them around in the village. if We possibly need them where and when. We also talked about no parking signs, and we have hodgepodge, I guess. Some say 2 hours, others say 2 hours, but from 6 o'clock or to 6 p.m. So we want to unify them all, so we're going to go and make all of them parking from 6 to 6 for 2 hours.
Right.
Well, that didn't change,
Right.
yeah. So
Can
that's
I
not-
ask a question on that? Are we gonna attempt to have anyone enforce that, though? I mean, it's not being enforced now, the parking, which, that's the whole reason we have it, is for the businesses downtown, for the 2-hour parking, so everyone has an opportunity, to shop the businesses. And it's absolutely not being enforced right now. I've seen it myself. I've heard from several other business owners that, and this has been a problem for years. So, I don't know if we can talk to the sheriff's department.
I think we should. The first step is to make sure that it's uniform. So that there's no debate about, when did I arrive here or when am I supposed to move? So I think I think the committee agreed that those signs need to be fixed and made uniform. So yeah, I don't debate.
So the times and dates are still the same, because that was established a
Long
time
ago, yeah.
So,
If needed, we'll have another meeting November 1st,
Right.
Is that November? Okay.
9:30.
Okay. Parks and Rec, Joyce.
All right. As of lately, we have had no new business for Parks and Rec. If, in the event anyone has any new business, I would encourage them to please feel free to contact me, and we can add a meeting to the calendar. Throughout the month of October, the Youth League has been doing a great job having tournaments on the weekend, so they've pretty much filled every Saturday, Sunday at the park. I want to give a special thank you and shout out to Jack, I don't want to butcher his last name, Adrian, thank you, and the staff. For all of the upkeep and maintenance to the park, I have been told by Kathy Carson, who is the president of the Youth League, she's very pleased and they have been doing an excellent job. So kudos to Jack and the guys. We appreciate you as always, and keep up the good work.
I have a couple things with parks. So,
Hold on, Joyce, are you finished with your comments?
thought you were.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I do not have any intention, unless we have some new business, of having another Parks and Rec meeting. I'll just put it out here now for the remainder of the year. But as I said, if anyone has any new business that they think that we need to discuss, give me a call and I'll get a meeting on the calendar.
Okay, I'm sorry, Becky, go ahead.
okay, so I guess consider yourself officially notified. We do need a meeting. There's lots of business for the parks, and I'm going to go over that right now if I could. So I wasn't here last meeting. My son got married in Colorado, and it was beautiful.
Congratulations.
The Elks walked right up to your car. It was very lovely. But with that said, I have not missed a Park and Rec meeting. Unfortunately, 2 months ago in August, the meeting was abruptly ended, and then we were told that evening that there would be another meeting sooner than later, and then the next meeting in September was also canceled. So, reading through the minutes from the last meeting, I wasn't here, and as you know, it didn't record, like the first 10, 12 minutes recorded. So reading through the minutes, I guess the things that I have issue with and questions about, the first thing was the $20,000 that was brought to you guys on how to spend. I was just curious as who was making these decisions initially to bring that to council, and where did that come from? Because it didn't come from the parks meeting where it should have came from.
It doesn't have to.
The motion doesn't have to, you're right, but the committee is formed to discuss those things and options and ideas.
We did.
No, we discussed a very, very small portion of that. That's just not true. So, what I wanted to say about it is, you know, I just got today what you guys did vote to pass through. It's very confusing, and I did pull up things on my own. I'm going to read verbatim what was said at the Parks meeting about, I can find, sorry, I have a lot of notes here, about the new plans for the park that you guys all did approve. So, one thing was said, it was, we'll have 3 wheelchair ramps, which is awesome. We have talked about that several times at committee.
They are
That-
going in this week.
That's awesome. And then, the next thing on the list, well, it said to purchase 1 wheelchair swing. And then it said, we're gonna move down of swings to install the wheelchair swing. So I guess my question would have been at a committee meeting, like, where are we gonna move those swings to? You know, we just had, a grant that purchased the swings that are there. There are no empty holes for any of those swings. So what we would have to do, in essence, if we move forward with this plan as it stands, is we would have to take swings down. 3 of the swings are handicap accessible swings. And then there's 2 swings that are mommy and me swings. Then there are 2 toddler swings, and there are 2 middle-aged children's swings. So my question would be, which swings are getting thrown out or put in a closet because there's no room to just move them down. So, you know, again, then you're kind of messing with the grant that just provided those swings. And also, when I was reading the specifics of this swing that was presented, it has, you know, some specific ground space rules, and it does come with its own frame. So again, it wouldn't make any sense to put this frame inside another frame and take swings out. First off, aesthetically, it would look crazy. And it comes with its own swing, which is portable, or you can make it permanent. So I'm not opposed to the idea of having a wheelchair swing. It's just we would need to have another bay. We would need a 4th little area, and it's real specific on what you would need, and due to the weight of it and everything, you know, there's some special planning, it says, for securing essentials due to its weight. So, you know, again, that should be something that's discussed at committee meeting, not just brought to council and approved without really knowing how we're moving forward. And again, something like that, the playgrounds that are out there now, we did have installed. So we knew that we met all of the certifications. So with this one, again, we make a 4th separate area for this swing. We have to know that the ground's a certain way and that it'll hold the weight, et cetera, et cetera. Then we're gonna need another ramp to this one. So, I mean, this is a whole another project. Again, I'm not opposed to it, but it can't be used with what we have now. It just doesn't make any sense. And we are running out of time on this grant. So I would ask, for one reason, that's one reason to have another parks meeting, so we can really get to the nuts and bolts. If this is what we want to move forward, okay, but let's figure out how to do it and then move forward. But the other reasons, we need to have a parks meeting. We still have porta-john issues out there. We still have lighting issues. Kathy said they were out there at 6 a.m. the other day and still have no outside lights. We still have maintenance at the park, and I'm glad to hear that Jack and the guys are doing so great. I've heard the same things. And Joyce mentioned the tournaments that are happening. We still have money coming in. The Youth League is doing all the work for that money, and that's awesome. But we need to also know what the Youth League needs from us during this time. So communication is critical right now while we still have events going on out there. I know there's a trunk or treat coming up. There's the issue of when do we remove the porta-johns for the season. There's a lot of things to talk about that need to happen at the park. the money from the tournaments. We need to talk about where all that money, it's coming into Parks and Rec, and I believe we have some to accept tonight. We need to talk about where it's going to be spent. We have money coming in from parks for the food trucks. We need to talk about where that's going to be spent. I just asked Courtney, every year, the committees all submit a wish list of what they want for the budget. Parks and Rec hasn't had a meeting to submit a wish list for that. So, you know, I don't know who's making all the decisions, but it's not the committee. The committee needs to be making the decisions, and there's a lot of things. There's grants, there's several grants you touched on that are park-specific. For years that Marcy got, there's an aquatic grant, there's an outdoor grant, there's several grants we didn't get this year. We need to get back on track and get those grants for the park. So it's just really important that, you know, we do get back on track. And we have a meeting. There's so many things to talk about. And I really recommend that we do it sooner than later because of the budget. And then also, something I saw in the minutes, and I don't know, since it wasn't recorded, if any of you questioned it or not, but I saw in the minutes that Park and Rec, that Joyce reported that things were being taken and missing that have been stored at Town Hall. That seems really important. So I was just wondering what you were referring to?
As I said at the last meeting, I had, was a blue 50-foot extension cord. Isn't that what it was, Mick? And it was my son Daniel's. It was sitting in a tub with all of the other extension cords, and it's gone. What else was missing? Yeah, there was something. I'm sorry, this
Extension cords and the surge protector.
surge protector, which was already in there, wasn't it?
Yep.
I think that was everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that
we're
was
going to be
it.
putting a check-in, check-out policy probably in
Yeah.
place because,
Yeah.
you know, we don't want things to wander away that are village assets, so.
Right.
All right, on that note, is there anything else for parks?
I was just curious, again, what it was, if we just thought something like the guys picked up an extension cord, it wasn't anything nefarious or anything, we just think something got moved around.
We've had a few of these things occur over the course of the summer, and we should probably talk about that further, but yep.
Okay,
I do have donations to accept.
Yeah,
too.
I was just going to get to that. So the Youth League has been kind enough to partner with us and has a number of, basically the village gets a cut of the parking for a lot of these events out at the park. And that goes towards maintenance and upkeep of, and expense of the park. So if we would like to have
Yeah, I
a
have
quick
two-
reading of how much we have in the
Yeah,
door.
so I'm gonna do these in two separate motions, because they were two separate tournaments
Mm-hmm.
and two separate amounts. So the first one is a donation accepted from the softball tournament that was held on October the 5th and 6th, a total of $1,015. This is only to be accepted and deposited and expended by the Parks and Rec Fund, not Parks and Rec Committee, but Parks and Rec Fund, okay? I just wanna be clear, we're not sending this to the general fund so that the general fund can speak about it. Only to Parks and Rec. Motion.
Yeah, that motion.
Is there a second?
when was that from?
All right.
Second. Oh, you got it?
October 5th and 6th.
Okay, so we have
So
David.
Joyce and then David?
Mhm.
Okay. Barry?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes,
Ross?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
All
Okay,
right,
and the
and
next
number
one
two?
was October 12th and the 13th. This was in cash form, and this was the total amount of $370.
Okay, is there a motion to accept this $370?
motion.
Thank you. Is
I'll
there a
second.
second? Thank you, David.
Becky, David, and again, to be deposited and expended from the Parks and Rec Fund.
Mm-hmm.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes,
Ross?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
And Barry?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Any other? I don't think so.
we kind of moved past it really quick there, but can we still go ahead and have a Parks and Rec meeting soon?
I would like to know what the new business is. I would like
Oh.
an agenda. You can email that to me or text it to me.
I just said like a whole bunch of things that needed addressed.
Well, first of all, I'm not in favor of going back and rehashing what we've already approved. So,
Are you
no,
talking
I'm
about,
not,
like, the part-
I'm
part
talking
where
about
John
what we
did
have
Yeah.
already,
The lighting issues and the maintenance of
the lighting issues. I'm dealing with
The
John on
money,
the,
the budget,
I'm dealing, well, we're not going to do a wish list,
every
we're-
committee always does.
but we're not doing that this year.
who are you more than anybody, any other council member?
Are
all
we
have
doing
the
a
same-
wish list this year?
I think we're having a finance work session. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
we
why-
don't need a
why-
wish list.
We
Why-
always send them to Courtney ahead of time,
Well,
do
if
we
you-
or do
if
we
you-
not, Courtney?
Well, my response to that is,
Every
you
year.
always can and you always should, so go
Yeah,
ahead and send them to her
so
if you
as
have a
far
wish
as
list.
who I am the president pro tem of council, along with the chair of finance, and I was told by our fiscal officer that we should not be doing wish list. We don't have the money, so that's who I am.
Hold on, let's
that part's
rewind,
not
let's
true.
rewind a little bit.
Okay, that's not
Let's,
true.
let's rewind a little bit.
What's not
I
true?
don't think necessarily it's getting out here what is
What's
going
the
on.
truth, Mayor?
So one of the things that we recognized last year was that the budget process did not go very well. And as a result, we ran short on funds on certain accounts this year. One of the key places was streets. Another key place was the water fund. And so as a result, Courtney and I are sitting down with both of those two areas to figure out how much money you actually need to run. So I'll just give you, for example, London is spending $400,000 a year maintaining their streets. All right, so our budget for that is $80,000. Is that being wisely spent? So we're sitting down and trying to go through the budget with a fine-tooth comb and figure out whether or not, before we all get into wish lists and what I'd like to have in terms of, this, that, and the other, is the budget aligned appropriately so that when we actually want to go fill a pothole or patch a street or cut out and put back something or maintain a parking lot or add lighting or whatever, whether you actually have the money to do it? And one of the problems we've had is that we've consistently run short. And so as a result, we come out of fiscal emergency, we need to be doing budgeting better. And so at the end of the day, we need to present to you all in a finance work session, a budget that actually reflects reality. There you go.
Your day-to-day
Your day-to-day operational expenses. So last year, we basically whiffed it.
Okay, so what I would
So
like to say,
at the end of all of that, I'm answering the question which was asked.
yes.
The question which was asked is, what's up with all the wish lists? I invite anyone who has an idea about what they would like to spend money on, please send it to Courtney. I invite it. We will try to work it in, and you will see it in your work session.
Okay, thank you for that
No,
explanation.
just for the quick
Courtney, I
clarification.
apologize to you. I did misspeak. I know that we were all in a meeting, the three of us, talking about budgets in a finance committee, and I was of the impression, because of the discussion, we were not going to submit requests to the
I want to be
committees.
super clear. Like, the fiscal oversight and the process by which we arrive at a budget every year has not changed. It is the content. It's the hamburger which goes into the meatloaf which has changed. It's like, how much do we put aside?
Right,
And how much goes into, say, reserve for the water tower construction? Just picking a couple of things off
which
the
has
top of our head.
changed along the line.
Yeah, so I get comments from residents all the time, I want my street fixed.
Right, right.
Okay, so at some point, you gotta have a budget which reflects, like, the ability to go out and do
That's
that.
the reason why, what I always say is, what is your want versus your need?
Needs.
And I think sometimes our wants are more stronger than our need. And I've said that several
We're
times.
trying to get you a better, more balanced, cooked budget. You can then say, okay, these more align with what is going on in the
That's
village.
why you have a work session. So if
Yeah.
at any point you want to sit and say you want to paint the yellow brick road down London Street, you want to paint it pink, do you first of all think that's responsible? Do you second of all believe that that is financially responsible? And third of all, does it fit in your budget? Because right now, you're not.
I think
when we're talking about
yeah, I
streets.
think realistically, we would say that we probably would do last year all over again.
Yeah.
So this is
With that
October.
said,
All have the
This is
opportunity.
October, and
Ed
let's just be
and I
clear.
do not get a part of any of this.
Yeah, this is
by the
October.
clock,
We've
'cause we
reappropriated
don't
money
approve it.
twice. This is not,
That's right.
this is, this is not the way the railroad should be run.
But
So
at
I'm
any
I'm just
point
saying.
During a public meeting, anybody has any right to, when it's thrown up there on the board, as we've been through, I don't know how many budget meetings all of us have been through. Hey, I want the yellow brick road down London Street. You all have that opportunity
Yep.
to say, I want it.
Right.
Guess what happens? Everybody's gonna go around and say, nope, 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 and it's going to a vote, and we're going to go to the next one.
right. And that happened a lot last year. I mean, I'd just like to say, I mean, Parks was only given $1,000 out of the entire budget.
To be fair, you
as
had a
far-
carryover, though, and so that, there is a reason why. I mean, you had a carryover of 15 grand at one point. So.
Are you talking about donations or fundraisers or
You had
grants?
a prior balance carryover of, I believe,
Our money
$15,000.
doesn't carry over.
Well, as far as the donations is probably
Yeah.
what.
Yeah, that is separate from taking money out of the general fund. It absolutely got $1,000 out of the general fund. So with that said, I've also been told in the past, it's too late to submit those things after the budget's already being cooked and presented. Obviously, any of us
This
can
is what a
step up.
fiscal work session is all about. So that's, my
Right,
response
and
to
we
that
were-
is, please, like,
Yes,
it is
we-
an open process which anyone can attend, and I encourage it.
Because
have
they
been
not
told-
been very successful,
Yeah.
believe it or not. I don't know, we had 3 meetings, we've had a village administrator get up and resign in the middle of the meeting. They have not been very successful, and
So,
they've not been
yeah,
very pleasant.
so I'm trying to like bring reality to the situation. I'm trying very hard to throw out a sample budget, anyone, leave it in the lobby that anyone can see. This isn't rocket science. It takes
I know
money to
all
run a
the-
village,
I
right?
know all the years I've been on council, that the budget meetings have always been interesting, and we've seen about everything that could happen.
Yeah, so in any
It
case,
goes back to 6 people with 6
Exact-
votes.
exactly.
And if it is different or indifferent or the same,
yep,
it's still gonna have to go through the majority of the rules. So if somebody doesn't like something that's in there, you have an opportunity to say it, nobody's taking that away from anybody.
and I would please, and we need to wind up this discussion because we still need other committee reports, but I would please ask folks to remember, we are starting major construction either in December or in the spring, one of the two, depending on what it is. You will need money to do that,
Well, the cost of inflation.
and with the cost of inflation. so-
Andy, Mr. Mayor, I would just, in the heat of things, I'm trying to be very calm and cool about this, but I hope this is not how we're doing things now, that we're letting, one person make all the decisions about a whole committee's things. If we've learned nothing from our past, then we need to
Well, I
learn
would- I
that
would
committees
ask-
have a purpose,
Yeah.
and we need to have a committee meeting, and I hope you can encourage the president of council to have a committee meeting for parks. It's really critical.
Duly noted, thank you. All right, record retention, David.
Yes, we're getting a lot of stuff done. We went through several boxes. I'm really proud of my working group I got this year. We're getting a lot done. We're focusing on what we're doing, and we'll be meeting on the first Friday in November again at 8 a.m. And I appreciate what Courtney does for it. She's a good coordinator and keeps us all going.
Thank you. All right, nuisance abatement, Barry.
I just say that we're continuing to take reports in, so if there's something you see something that's not done right, or, somebody don't cut their grass, or there's a lot of trash, you can go on the website or call into the village and report them, and we're still doing that every week. As far as meetings, we have another meeting scheduled for November 11th at 6 p.m., but if there's no new business, I don't know, keep looking on the website to see if we'll have that meeting. But besides that, we're still doing all the day-to-day reports.
All right, thank you. Planning, Joyce.
As of right now, we will not be having a planning meeting in October.
Okay. Typically, again, to remind everybody, those are only done if there is a request
Right.
before that committee, so.
I did talk to Christy West today, and she could not make it tonight. She has her 3 grandkids this week, but she said she will be at the next meeting.
Oh, great, okay. Zoning, Ross.
Same thing, we didn't have a meeting and we don't have anything going on right now.
Okay. Tree beautification, Becky.
Yes. So on September the 14th, we had a cleanup event at the Mount Sterling's oldest tree. And I want to personally thank Bill Storer, Jacob Keever, and he brought along Conrad and Alex, 2 teen helpers, Joanne Showblock, Mark Spencer, Kathy Carson with her daughter, Jeff Martin, Chuck Williams, and of course Luke and Eddie Mason for all their previous help prior to that. They came out like troopers for 4 hours, brought chainsaws, tractors, rakes, wheelbarrows, lawnmowers, and we cleaned up the entrance, which is the village entrance over there. We're near where the new water tower will be constructed. The Masons actually mowed that area for the village as well. But we did a lot of work over there, and I really, really appreciate it. And at the same time we were doing that work, the Chamber of Commerce, once again, bought all the mums for the downtown. And we had Tamara Hall, Nicole Reiterman, Barbie Wallace, and Melanie Wyatt and her son, who are all business owners and Chamber of Commerce leaders, went out and planted the 30-plus mums. And I want to tell them how much I greatly appreciated that, too. Jeff and I have went back and tweaked some of the mums, we added 3 more pots to London Street, and we also put mums at both ends of town, the entrance way. I don't know if you noticed them down by the car wash. That bed is really big. It could hold 10 mums, but that's just what we had left. So I really appreciate them. And I do want to also tell you about that we have, I gave all the council members a flyer, and this is coming up really soon. Courtney made up the flyer for us, but we have a fall leaf pickup event November the 2nd. So we have leaf bags. We have lots of leaf bags. So what you do is come to Town Hall lawn. We'll have a table out there. We'll just get your name and address. And a week later, well, on the 11th, which is, I believe, a Monday, we will come. We ask that you have them out that morning by the edge of your driveway, and the village will come and pick up, and people on the tree committee both will come and pick up those bags of leaves. And please only put leaves in them, because we are going to start a compost pile up at the garage that eventually we'll be sharing with the community. So I just wanted to let everyone know about that. It's on November the 2nd. I'll have one more chance to remind you, and Jacob's going to put it on Facebook tonight. So that's coming up.
Just a reminder, the village does not normally pick up leaves, so don't sweep your leaves out to the curb or into the street or something like that. Please take care of them, mulch them, mow them, do whatever you'd like to do. This is specifically for creating a new compost pile. Okay, we have no ordinances or resolutions, so we're going to move past that to roundtable.
Oh, I'd like to bring up about the American Legion. We'll be celebrating Veterans Day on November 11th at the Veterans Square here. Veterans can report there at 10:30 if you want to be part of the ceremony. And the citizens, we appreciate, we always have a good turnout. I hope the weather stays warm, because we've been cold and different things, but
Last year.
it's always time to salute what the soldiers did for our country. Like, there's so many privileges we take for granted what soldiers did in the field. I can think as far back as the Civil War, and of course in this town here in World War II, we had over 80 people served in World War II in our small village, and only 61 of them came home. So you think about the numbers, and and also with winter coming on, and we had all these hurricane stuff, make sure you always have emergency kit in your car. And they say warm blanket and everything, because before you know it, one of these days that white stuff's still gonna be falling.
Can you confirm the time, the Veterans Day on November the 11th? You said the
At-
veterans,
Yeah,
At
the
10 to
10:30, then the ceremony itself will be at 11.
11, right.
At 11
are they gonna
o'clock.
do it down at the
We're
Pleasant
gonna do-
Cemetery? Or just-
I hear at the square, at the flagpoles and everything. I know Becky's always there, and so got a lot of people come, turn out, and it's one of them things. And it just, like I said, it just hits you what they all did and what they did for this country. And every time I think about it, I just think about my father and what he did. Never talked about it, but got the job done. And so it's a great thing they did.
Absolutely. We will see you on November 11th. Other comments for roundtable?
I have a couple things. I want to, I wasn't here for this car show, but I heard we had a very successful car show and street market. There were 87 entries and a new all-time high. And I appreciate everything the village did to shut off those streets. And then we also, the Chamber of Commerce just ended their 3 First Friday food truck events. 2 of them, we had some weather issues, but the last one that we just had a week or so ago was fantastic. The weather was beautiful, and it was very successful for the community as a whole. The citizens of Mount Sterling said they really, really enjoyed them. So we'll see if we bring them back next year. Some different things to talk about there. Upcoming this Saturday, there's a lot of stuff coming up. This Saturday at the community center is their holiday bazaar with their shop hop. And it is from 10 to 3, and the shop hop is the same exact time. Now, I know the day before, this year, the haunted house is kicking off early. On the 18th and the 19th, the Masons, in partnership with the Chamber of Commerce, will be doing the haunted house And the streets will be blocked off just on London Street, from the hardware store down to the church, basically. I want to encourage everyone that haunted house is, as always, free. And I want to encourage everyone, and if you are attending the holiday bazaar at the community center, if you bring up to 10 canned goods, you get a free entry for a great prize with every canned good you bring in. It's for, obviously, our food pantry, which is another wonderful cause. Then we have trick or treat coming up on, just as a reminder, it's on Thursday, October the 31st. And did we say 6 to 7:30?
5:30 to 7.
5:30 to 7. Okay, 5:30 to 7. And then on November 23rd will be our Community Appreciation Dinner that the Chamber of Commerce, in partnership with the American Legion over at Post 417, will be doing our annual Thanksgiving dinner. So we're looking for volunteers, anyone who wants to cook or drive food to places around town, or just serve at the window at the Legion. You can eat there, you can have food delivered to your house. And again, I'll be giving several reminders of that. So there's a lot of great things coming up. And then, of course, in December is our Christmas in the Village. So that's all I have.
All right, any other comments
Oh,
from
I forgot
roundtable?
to bring up about the Nazarene Church. Halloween night, they always have their fall festival in the parking lot, and they have their trunk or treat and all that. And it's really great for the kids. It's family friendly, no scariness, but they get a lot of candy.
Oh, that's where we're all at. I mean,
Yeah,
that's the point.
exactly.
Yep. Other comments?
I have some comments for Roundtable. With the weather turning colder, please consider donating some blankets, coats, hats, gloves, personal and pantry items to those in need. I'm sure that most of the churches in the area, along with the community center, will be taking in donations. Along with many other women from my church, I prepare a home-cooked meal once a week and deliver it to the McNair Men's Mission in Washington Courthouse. Anyone interested in participating, not just at McNair, but there are lots of other places in the communities that serve as well. Anyone interested in participating, please let me know. It could be you could do it once a week, once every other week, once a month, or just a one-time thing. It's totally your preference. Please reach out, and we can show you how to get on the meal train schedule or make a donation. Thank you. That's all I have.
All right, well, if no one has any other comments for roundtable, we are adjourned. Have a good evening, everybody.